You can see all of the Shia are in their temples around the world, screaming, Ya Ali Madad, Salawat. They love it. They eat it up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So this is not just some village person claiming this. He's the most followed scholar in the Shia community around the world. And this is definitely true, Daniel. So I want to know how you respond to this. Do you condemn istighatha and calling upon the dead as shirk? Is this kufr akbar? What do you understand this to be? In today's episode, we have to look at who Daniel حقيقتجو considers the most knowledgeable and most well-respected Shi'i scholar in the world living today. Unfortunately for Daniel, because he's so ignorant of his former religion, he doesn't know that this scholar, who is so well-respected in his eyes against the Shi'i community, which is actually true, actually promotes shirk. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to demonstrate that and show it to you. Now, Daniel has made the claim so many times over that, oh, the Shia have become more and more like the Sunnis over the years, and especially over the past 50 or 100 years. But for those who don't know, the Shia have a system today where they have these so-called top scholars who they call maraja, and they basically are the leaders of their community, and they studied at Hawza and so on and so forth, and they are the representatives of the lay Shia. They go to them for fatwa, for legal rulings, and so on and so forth, and they're followed by millions of Shia around the world today. And it's interesting, the scholar that we're going to take a look at today, السيستاني, is the most followed scholar of the different maraja today. He's the most followed scholar amongst the Shia community living today. So they go to him for his fatwa, for his legal rulings, and so on and so forth. So this isn't like some random guy or neighbor down the street, or as Daniel claimed, some random village idiot somewhere in Iran spewing kufr. So now let's take a look at what Daniel actually says to see that I'm not misrepresenting him. He says, this is just a couple days ago, on October 9th of this year, just a couple days ago, he says, why is Israel now publicizing its plan to kill the Iraqi Ayatollah Ali as-Sistani, the most highly ranked 12er religious scholar in the world? Oh my God, so he's fighting so desperately and wondering why is Israel trying to attack and planning to kill Ayatollah as-Sistani? Why would they do that? He's the most highly ranked 12er religious scholar in the world. So as you can see, Daniel is endorsing him at least as the highest ranked 12er religious scholar, because Daniel said, look, if you want to prove to us what the Shia believe, show us from their ulama, show us from their grand ayatollahs. Don't show us from some village idiot hitting himself on the street in Iran or somewhere else. Don't do that. Show us from their actual biggest scholars. Okay, so I'm going to show you from their biggest scholar in the world, according to you, Daniel. You're so worried about Israel actually killing. So what does as-Sistani say, the greatest and most knowledgeable scholar in the Shia community today and most followed by the lay people? He says, in answering in a book where he's discussing different fatwa and responding to different questions, he says, I will shift to a doctrinal question this time and ask about the permissibility of requesting sustenance, children, protection, or healing directly from the infallibles, meaning from the imams. Let me ask you. So the question is, can we call upon the dead? Can we do istighatha to the so-called infallible 12 imams who are dead, except the last one they say is alive, but he's in hiding? Can we call upon them? Can we call upon the dead and do istighatha to them and ask them for children and protection and healing directly from them? So as-Sistani responds and says, do you request? He wants more information so that we see exactly what the fatwa is about. Do you request these things from them because they create, provide, sustenance, or protect? They say no, rather because they are the means to Allah, the intercessors to Him in fulfilling needs, and because they do nothing except by His permission. Glorified and exalted be He. So again, the same trick that Daniel did. They're just a means, not completely independently. They're the means to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's grace and mercy in providing sustenance. They're just a means that we go through. Then as-Sistani responds, so you mean they ask Allah and He creates. They ask Him and He provides sustenance. They ask Him and He protects. And because they are their intercessors, no request or supplication is turned down for them due to their high status with him. Glorified is his majesty and their authority over us. And then the person responds, yes, yes, I mean that. This is permissible. Allah the Exalted says, and seek a means of nearness to him. Quran chapter 5 verse 35, we know that this doesn't actually mean what he's trying to convey. And they are your means to Allah the Exalted. This is permissible. This is exactly what the pagan mushrikeen did. They say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is too distant. We can't go to him directly. We have to go through these intermediaries, these divine, semi-divine beings, in order to actually get the mercy and grace from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in order for him to provide this sustenance to us. Wow. So as-Sistani is backing this up. You're able to call upon directly the 12 infallible imams who are no longer living and present, at least 11 of them, according to the Imami Shia, right? They're no longer with us. They're no longer present. They're dead. We're going to call upon them from near and from far and from all around the world, and they'll be able to hear that and interpret all this information of all the millions of Shia calling on Ya Hussein, Ya Ali Madad all day long. They do this. And this isn't just as-Sistani saying it. You can see all of the Shia are in their temples around the world screaming Ya Ali Madad, Salawat. They love it. They eat it up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So this is not just some village person claiming this. He's the most followed scholar in the Shia community around the world. And this is definitely true, Daniel. So I want to know how you respond to this. Do you condemn istighatha and calling upon the dead as shirk? Is this kufr akbar? What do you understand this to be? Just so we go to another scholar, a Sunni scholar, who Daniel loves and respects, and what his position is on istighatha. So this is Sheikh Muhammad al-Hassan al-Dadu, who you've seen in the previous video, who is, according to Daniel, or the lazim of his statements, the lazim of his qawl, is that Sheikh Muhammad al-Hassan al-Dadu, who he's also said is, from the Sunni side, one of the most knowledgeable Sunni ulama today. And I've already mentioned that we don't necessarily agree with that statement, but because he's such a hujjah for Dan, what does he actually say about this issue, about istighatha? Let's take a look.
جواب أن الاستغاثة والتوسل حكمان مختلفان، فالاستغاثة معناه نداؤه وإشراكه في الألوهية، وهذا شرك بالله سبحانه وتعالى من أعظم الشرك. وقد قال الله تعالى: ذلكم الله ربكم له الملك والذين تدعون من دونه ما يملكون من قطمير إن تدعوهم لا يسمعوا دعاءكم ولو سمعوا ما استجابوا لكم ويوم القيامة يكفرون بشرككم ولا ينبئك مثل خبير. فالاستغاثة ممنوعة مطلقا، وهي من الشرك الأكبر المخرج من الملة إلا في حق من يجهل ذلك أو له مانع يمنعه من الردة.
So he's very clear, right? He says that istighatha, calling upon the dead and asking things for them, like what this fatwa from as-Sistani is actually saying, it's kufr akbar. It is completely prohibited. But yet, the great Ayatollah, as-Sistani, and he's not alone in this, most of their ulama permit this, and they say it's a good thing, actually are promoting shirk. So Daniel, when you say, oh, most people don't believe in this, most people don't do this, most of their ulama are saying this, the most followed scholar today amongst the Shia actually is saying this and promoting this. But wait, no. The lay people don't listen to them, right? Okay, then I guess they're not really listening to you either. If speakers and the fuqaha and the scholars amongst the Shia, they don't really have much say, then why are you even talking on the internet, Daniel? Nobody's listening to you. They're not listening to Sistani. They're not listening to Jake. So what are we all doing here? We're just wasting time. Be real. I would say even most Shia today are doing istighatha. They're calling upon the dead, asking for things, screaming, Ya Ali Madad, while they're hitting themselves and all this kind of stuff, right? This is what they're doing. So you're not fooling anyone, Daniel. But anyway, for those who are actually open and willing to hear what is being said, I hope that you found this video educational. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell so you get notified of future videos. Like, comment, subscribe, share this on your social media platforms. No matter how big or how small your reach is, it really does help with the algorithm. And if you guys want to go above and beyond and support the channel, then the best two ways to do so are to two pinned links at the top of the description of this video, as well as pinned in the comment section of this video. With that being said, guys, until next time, inshallah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.